wasn't connected correctly, which is just so me. So I had to obviously have to do this all over again. But anyway, you guys voted for a level run for your life, so that's what I'm going to be doing, and I am excited for this because this is the first dangerous one I've done. I think super dangerous anyway. So anyway, let's get started. Level Run for Your Life has been given a class difficulty of exclamation point, for it is unsafe and unsecure with environmental hazards. It has an entity infestation. Run for Your Life, or also known as level exclamation point, is an anomalous unnumbered level of the Backrooms. It is notorious for being one of the most dangerous Backrooms levels, and should never, under any circumstances, be entered intentionally. The level's previous designation, exclamation point, refers to how one must run through the halls while in this level, as well as a general feeling of urgency and the extreme circumstances one must overcome to exit this level. Although this level was originally known as level 847, it was renamed in 1975 as an anomalous unnumbered level. Run for Your Life is fairly uncomplicated in its appearance and layout, though that does not take away from the ever-present danger here. Run for Your Life consists entirely of one long, narrow hallway, reminiscent of hallways commonly found inside modern hospitals. The exact measurements of the hallway's length cannot be made due to the level's dangers, but it is believed to be about 10 kilometers in length, although this is disputed. While turns in the hallway are uncommon, they are prone to happen at least once during one's journey. The entirety of Run for Your Life seems to be constructed from a powerful material that strongly resembles concrete in presentation and, possibly, its composition. Exit signs are a common sight on the ceilings of the level, and provide the only source of light on the level and come in a deep red hue. Strangely, their positions and brightness seem to be random. One area may have a cluster of them, while in the next there may be none. As a result, some areas of Run for Your Life can be extremely dark due to lacking the signs. This makes for a very liminal, disordered, and wrong feeling that wanderers may experience. Another common item seen throughout the levels are doors. These are made out of what appears to be steel, and oddly, they cannot be opened. Multiple explorers have made the choice of stopping to try and open a door as a means of escape. Doing this is certainly recommended, and it will most likely lead to one's freedom. It is currently unknown what lies beyond the doors, perhaps the paradise, and any information on this subject will likely never be obtained. However, some have postulated that each door in the level simply leads to a copy of the first area of Run for Your Life, or perhaps the original rooms, which would make this level a non-Euclidean space-time anomaly. Despite most people's notions, the first area one will find in this level is not the infamous hallway. When one first enters Run for Your Life, they will be in a small room, estimated to be about 625 square feet. The walls, ceiling, and floor appear to be made out of an extremely reflective metal, and the room is dimly lit by a dull red light emanating from an unknown source. As the walls appear to be hollow, due to the frequent echoing or sounds from within, there have been attempts to break through the walls, but all have failed. It is theoretically possible, though not practically feasible, to break the walls with sufficiently powerful technology, such as an explosive device or a mechanized battering ram. Two doors are located in the room, opposite of each other, Although these resemble regular doors, both have no reflectivity whatsoever, despite being made out of metal, and have no visible hinges and seem to be unnecessarily thick. One of these doors leads to an unknown area in which numerous entities will begin to gather. These entities, presumably after smelling, hearing, or seeing the person, will begin pawing, scratching, and eventually banging on the door in an attempt to break it down. Normally, the structural integrity of the door will begin to decrease around 30 seconds after the person's arrival, with dents appearing and the door beginning to visibly bulge. This has been known to cause extreme fear within those who have entered the level, which tends to increase because attempts to open the second door, which would allow them to leave the room, rarely work on the first try, or even the 10th. However, the door is guaranteed to open eventually. It should be noted that there have been reports of the entities breaking through the door extremely quickly, approximately 10 seconds after the wanderer arrives. The area the second door leads to is a long hallway with architecture resembling that of a modern medical hospital. Once exiting the first area of Run for Your Life, one will see that they have exited from one of the many doors on the side of the hallway, with the hallway extending in both directions without a visible end. Present throughout the sides of the hallway are unlocked metal doors located at random locations. In a similar manner, exit signs, similar to those found in normal buildings, can be seen at random locations on the ceiling. Like a normal hospital, the floor is made out of what appears to be porcelain tiles, with the walls being apparently wooden and the ceiling being made out of white tiles. After a certain amount of time, which varies between people, often just seconds after they leave the first room, the first door in the room one began will finally break and fall down, resulting in an extremely loud noise, around 50 decibels. Afterwards, a horde of entities, mainly consisting of entities one would typically find throughout the backrooms, such as hounds, skin stealers, smilers, partygoers, lighters, and many more, will emerge from the room and will begin pursuing the wanderer, forcing them to begin running down the hallway away from the entities. Although the hospital seems to be in pristine condition, it is eerily empty. Many have reported seeing shadows in the distance, walking in the hallway, or entering and exiting some of the doors, though it is unknown if those are entities or hallucinations. However, as time goes on, the hospital will begin to change. After an extended period of time, the doors will lock, preventing people from entering or exiting if they wandered in. The lights will dim, and the red lights illuminating the exit signs will increase in brightness and will take on the hue of the light which illuminated the room one began at. Sightings of the shadows will stop, and visibility will greatly decrease. In addition, a faint alarm tone will appear in the distance, and the material that the walls are made of will begin to change into a concrete-type material. At some point, the faint alarm noise one heard at the start will become almost deafening, although the source of the noise is unknown. The apparent objective in Run for Your Life is to run as fast as one humanly can to the exit before the enormous horde of entities chasing the person catches up to them. Helpful items may be found to aid one during their escape. These may include bottles of almond water, which can be found laying on the hospital beds and chairs, which can also be found in the hallways, along with energy bars, which usually accompany almond water bottles in isolated groups of 2 to 4. These can be found in isolated groups, most likely sitting on tables, but with a couple of documented exceptions. They are either hidden or out of one's view, forcing people to backtrack and risk their life to retrieve them. One wanderer said that they have seen royal rations accompanied by almond water bottles in a 2 to 4 pack. If this is true or not is unknown. Only one wanderer reported it. twists, turns, each one a few kilometers apart, often leading wanderers to think they've reached the exit early. If you see an exit door, but notice a turn in the hallway, do not go into the door, as it is a fake exit and will lead you into an empty room, resulting in your being caught by the entities. The only way to know which one is the real exit is by going as far as you can until there are no more turns. If one comes across a dead end with an exit door, then they've reached the true exit. Entities will adapt to one's capacity of running, to a point of giving difficulty even to the ones experienced at sports, such as these. However, the further one goes, the more entities will slow and fall behind, eventually leaving one alone if one can go for an extended period of time. This may convince one that they have escaped, but this is an illusion. The entities will continue pursuing the person who is in the level. Interestingly, the amount of exit signs present in the hallway also decreases the farther one goes, making the further parts of the level much darker. Around this point, several traps have been discovered, including, but not limited to, electrical cords draped across the halls and gaping holes in the floor. The amount and types of traps one encounters seemingly vary from person to person. As the traps can be extremely difficult to see due to the darkness in this level, it is recommended to slightly slow down this section so as to buy yourself enough time to observe and evade the traps, while not giving the entities enough time to reach you. It has been reported that different people can be in level Run for Your Life at the same time. However, like many Backrooms levels, one will never meet another. It is presumed the level will create a copy for each person that is in it, and as such, one cannot be with someone inside of Run for Your Life. If one happened to enter with multiple other people, however, one will be united with their group once they and their groupmates have exited level Run for Your Life. One will eventually come upon an exit door at the end of the hallway. Entering it will lead to a random level. It should be worth noting that if one enters and completes Run for Your Life, they will never be able to see it again. It is unknown how this is done. If the horde of entities catches you, however, you will be killed in a most painful and gruesome way. This level can be entered in any level of the Backrooms via a variety of methods. These methods usually have something to do with something that has an exclamation mark on it, but Run for Your Life can be entered anywhere at any time, so there's no way to avoid this level. Very rarely, going through faulty elevators and relatively unstable levels can lead you here, so watch out. The most common way people enter the level intentionally is by no-clipping under a table in level 521, specifically in the 521A section that has an exclamation mark written on it. When you run up to 5 floors in 45 seconds in level 1.00000000001, you will get here. One will immediately be transported into level Run for Your Life when a certain thought arises in level 354. Accidentally no-clipping in the embassy that has an exclamation part on the wall in level 11.2 will lead you here. Attempting to break the red window in level 3 will bring you here. And if you find a hospital bed in level 4 exclamation mark and no-clip through it, you will end up back here. You can exit this level in several ways. If you hide in the locker until the entities run past, then you will be met with a fate worse than death. Run 10 kilometers to the end of the level, and one will usually be transported to a random level, but in some occasions to reality. Tripping on an object will cause one to no-clip through the floor and end up in level 52.4. Although this is extremely difficult, and this cannot be done with intentions to trip, it has to be accidental. If you find a door labeled Director's Office and open it, you'll be transported to level 4. Though finding this door is side instead of 2. Entering it will lead to level exclamation mark dash exclamation mark. There is a rare chance that a door at the end of the hallway on level exclamation point can lead to this level negative exclamation point. Try it only if you want to go to the promised land. It's certain death if you don't go with certain equipment. However, if the door has been labeled with intrusive thoughts, it will take 1 to level 419. Unalive in this level, and you will end up in either of these levels. Level 0, level 11.2, level 18.1, level 666, level 888, or level 998. Unaliving to X on level .exe has a chance of sending you here. So that was a relatively short level, although there is more information on the fandom, so if you want to take a look, go ahead. But this week I plan on getting out 2 videos, so hopefully I will have another one out on Thursday, which, I mean, it might be pretty obvious which level it might end up being. So,